Beneath a curtain of grey clouds and darkness, two figures lie motionless in the undergrowth, watchful, silent, hearts beating like the war drums below. Franz and Cleo. From their hidden perch among the thorny shrubs, they gaze down upon a blasphemous spectacle, a defiled waystone, its once pure surface now daubed with foul and forbidden symbols. Hooded cultists in tattered red robes encircle it, a prisoner kneeling, and lurking at the fringes of the clearing, half-shadowed goat-headed brutes, beastmen, the children of chaos, grotesque, reverent. Something is about to happen, something dark. Greetings one and all, and welcome back to the Temple of Verena. I am Brother Clavius, keeper of knowledge, servant of truth, and your faithful chronicler. In this series, I retell the exploits of 5 bold adventurers as they play through a version of the legendary campaign, The Enemy Within, for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Let's get back to our story. Chapter 7, Dark Rites. I have a very bad feeling about this, Cleo whispers, fingers tightening around Franz's sleeve. Franz does not respond. His eyes are locked on the ritual below, studying, measuring. The cultists form a semicircle around a kneeling farmer, gagged, bound, and glassy-eyed, clearly drugged, just like young Hannes had been when they found him. The beastmen creep closer, their hooves sinking into the damp moss. They don't seem to be antagonistic towards the robed humans. They cower, as if in reverence. There is some dark alliance at play. Franz and Cleo both know of beastmen from their years living and traveling in the Drakvald. They know that they are a brutal race, completely devoted to unmentionable dark gods, to chaos. But to see them seemingly in cahoots with humans, that is new. One of the robed men steps forward, round of belly, thick of beard. He appears to be a leader of sorts. His voice cuts the stillness like a blade, in a clear Altdorfer accent. Brothers, sister, the blessed shall hide no longer. The lowliest shall be exalted. The changer's mark shall reshape the world, and the bearers of the mark shall be his heralds. In darkness and among shadows, we prepare for the coming of that glorious day. The speech continues, twisted with zeal and venom. Cleo stares in disbelief. Franz's jaw tightens. Let's get back to the others, Cleo urges. But Franz holds up a hand. Just a moment. Another figure has stepped forward. A woman, slim, hooded, with pale blonde hair glinting beneath her cowl. She must be the sister referenced before. She raises a ceremonial dagger, slices her palm, and lets the blood trickle down onto the drugged peasant's brow. Then, chanting, loud, discordant, otherworldly. Zargo, Zargo, Karzanet, Blutrak Naz Gormek, Cha, Vekhor Ak. As the robed figures chant, the kneeling man begins to convulse. He moans in agony. His bones snap, his throat gurgles. Human cries warp into the shrieking bray of something goat-like, inhuman. A dark transformation is taking place. Glory to the changer of ways, cackles the blonde woman. Glory to the red crown. Cleo pulls at Franz. We have to go. Franz nods. You're right. Come on. They slip away from the ridge and cut through the woods, leaves whipping at their cloaks, the echoes of chanting and unnatural screaming chasing at their heels. Back at the ruined elven site, the others wait in uneasy silence. Gerhardt, Dwinbar, Thaddeus, and the boy, Hannes, huddled close to the dwarf. They're doing it again, aren't they? The boy whispers, trembling, when he sees the 2 scouts return. Franz bursts from the brush and quickly relays what they've seen. Cultists, beastmen, some sort of blood ritual. A young priestess with blonde hair and a sickening madness in her eyes. Thaddeus wastes no time. His sword clears its scabbard with a hiss. By Sigmar, he growls, we put an end to this. Right now. Gerhardt gulps, nervously. This is all getting a little bit too real for the big city charlatan. He's heard of the dangers of the Drakvald, goatmen, beasts. But before leaving Middenheim, Those things were all stories to him. "Stay close to me, lad," Dwinbar tells Hannes, gripping his warhammer. The group moves through the terrain, towards the sounds, the fire, the madness. But then, silence. Franz halts the group, raising a fist. Something's changed. The ritual has paused. The moment is ripe. He signals for them to fan out. Dwinbar and Thaddeus on the left, Franz and Cleo on the right, Gerhardt moving center. Hannes ducks behind a large rock. As they spread out along the ridge, a new captive is led from the camp across a narrow bridge. Another monk, it seems. Older, bald, clad like Thaddeus. He too seems dazed and confused. There's no doubt. He is about to be put through the same sort of ritual as before. But then, chaos. A shriek suddenly erupts from the trees near the cultists. Then another and another. Not human, not beast. Something else. The cultists recoil, blades drawn, peering into the dark. The beastmen howl and snort, scattering, confused. Hidden behind a stump, Cleo clutches his staff, eyes shut tight, whispering to the spirits of the forest. To Raya, he calls upon the lessons taught by the wise woman in the village, employing one of the hexes he was taught as a boy. The sounds of the ether echo through the clearing. Phantasms, illusions, witchcraft. Cleo's trickery has begun. From a thicket near the center, Gerhardt exchanges glances with Franz. He doesn't know what's happening, but the element of surprise is gone. He readies his bow, draws an arrow, breathes in deep, and lets it fly. Much to his surprise, the first beastman falls with a cry. But now the game is up. The monsters turn to face the companions. More charge. Franz joins Gerhardt, swinging his heavy maul into a horned foe charging right at him. Dwinbar surges from the flank, but makes sure to keep a watchful eye on Hannes. Thaddeus, screaming a battle cry, plunges headlong into the madness. Sigmar's wrath! The monk lands a blow, but is quickly overwhelmed. Two more beastmen bear down on him, claws and axes slashing. Gerhardt is rammed, hard, but fate intervenes. The blow glances off, bruising, but not breaking. Franz answers with steel. Another beastman drops. At the edge of the clearing, next to a small creek, Cleo faces one of the monsters alone. It charges, snorting, foaming, wild-eyed. Cleo doesn't flinch. He lays a hand on its chest, whispers a phrase, and a blast of force erupts from his palm. The creature stiffens, spasms, and topples into the creek, thrashing. In the camp behind them, a fire spreads. A tent ignites. Cultists scatter, realizing that they're under attack, dragging their remaining prisoner, racing for their wagons and horses. For a short moment, Cleo has eye contact with the blonde-haired woman. She's cackling madly, blood still running down her arms. She nimbly mounts a horse in the burning camp and, along with a few of her fellow cultists, rides off into the dark forest. And then suddenly, birds, hundreds of them, crows, ravens, hawks, black wings blotting out the moon. They descend in a whirling mass of shrieks and talons, tearing into the remaining panicked cultists. Screams, despair. A wagon overturns. Someone plunges into the stream. And above it all, on a distant cliff, stands a solitary figure. Tall, robed in furs and moss, hair wild like the wind. His arms are outstretched. A shaman, a druid, a master of beasts, the avenger of the wild places. It is clear that he is somehow controlling this feathered flock of doom. The tide of the battle begins to turn. Thaddeus falls, struck down, but Dwinbar reaches him, drags him to safety. The remaining beastmen hesitate, then scatter, retreating into the trees, yelping in fear. The ritual is broken. The battle is over. The moment has passed. The birds gradually disperse, although some remain and begin to pick at the corpses of the fallen cultists. Cleo looks to the cliff for the mysterious birdmaster, but he is no longer there. "Is he alive?" calls Franz, as the group reaches Dwinbar, kneeling over the fallen brother Thaddeus. No answer. They gather round their fallen comrade in silence, holding their breath for a sign of life. And that, my noble listener, is where we're going to end this chapter. If you've enjoyed the tale, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. I've been your faithful narrator, Brother Clavius of the Temple of Verena. Until next time, may truth prevail.